Imagine a world where silence speaks louder than words, where in the moments of chaos, your quiet presence commands more respect than any argument. In this noisy, fast-paced world, the true power lies not in what you say, but in knowing when to be silent. Buddhism reminds us that there are times when silence is not just golden, but also profoundly transformative. It teaches us to recognize the power of silence and to use it wisely, especially in 5 crucial situations. 1. When you're angry. Anger is a powerful emotion that can take control of us before we even realize it. In moments of anger, it's easy to say things we don't mean, words that can hurt others deeply and damage our relationships. As the Buddha wisely said, holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. This reminds us that anger causes harm to ourselves as much as it does to others. This is why Buddhism teaches that in times of anger, silence is one of the most compassionate responses we can offer. By choosing to remain silent, you give yourself the space to pause, reflect, and calm down before saying something you might regret. It allows you to think clearly, respond with kindness, and avoid unnecessary conflict. In this way, your silence becomes a gift, not only to yourself, but to those around you. By holding back in moments of anger, you create a path toward peace and understanding, rather than fueling the fire of conflict. 2. When someone is venting. When someone is upset and venting, they're usually not looking for advice or solutions. They just need someone to listen. In these moments, jumping in with your own opinions or trying to fix their problem can make them feel unheard or even more frustrated. This is where silence becomes powerful. By simply staying quiet and allowing the other person to express their feelings, you show them that you respect and value what they're going through. Listening without interrupting helps them feel supported and understood, which can be far more healing than any advice you might give. Buddhism teaches the importance of being present and offering compassion in such situations. Sometimes, all someone needs is to feel like they've been truly heard, and your silence is a way of showing that you are there for them without judgment or distraction. In this way, your silence becomes a form of kindness, letting the other person release their emotions and come to their own conclusions without pressure. 3. When someone is trying to manipulate you. Manipulation happens when someone tries to influence or control your decisions for their own benefit. This can often be done subtly through persuasive words or emotional pressure. In these moments, it's easy to get caught up in the conversation and feel the need to respond or defend yourself immediately. But instead of reacting quickly, silence can be your best defense. By staying quiet, you give yourself time to recognize what's really going on. You allow yourself to observe the other person's intentions without getting emotionally entangled. Buddhism teaches that silence creates space for wisdom and clarity. When someone is trying to manipulate you, silence helps you stay grounded and focused on what's right for you, instead of being swayed by their words. It's a way of protecting your peace and making sure your decisions come from a place of mindfulness rather than from pressure. In this way, silence allows you to maintain control over your actions and choices, while also sending a message that you won't be easily influenced by others' agendas. 4. When you don't know the facts. In today's world, it's easy to feel pressured to have an opinion on everything, from current events to personal matters. We might find ourselves in conversations where others are discussing topics we know little about, and the urge to speak up can be strong. Sometimes we feel that staying silent might make us look uninformed or disconnected, but speaking without fully understanding the facts can cause more harm than good. Buddhism teaches the value of humility and mindfulness in such situations. Knowing when to speak and when to remain silent is a mark of true wisdom. When you don't know the facts, silence becomes an opportunity for learning. Instead of jumping into the conversation with half-formed opinions or guesses, staying quiet allows you to listen attentively. This not only helps you gather the necessary information to understand the topic better, but also shows respect for the knowledge others are sharing. By listening carefully, you can absorb different perspectives, reflect on them, and form an informed opinion later on when you're truly ready to contribute. Remaining silent when you lack knowledge also prevents the spread of misinformation. In a world where facts can easily be distorted, it's important to be mindful of the impact our words have. Spreading incorrect or incomplete information can confuse others and potentially damage your credibility. On the other hand, staying silent and admitting that you don't know everything shows humility and a commitment to truth, qualities that are highly respected in Buddhist teachings. It's okay not to have all the answers. In fact, acknowledging that you don't know something and choosing silence in those moments is a powerful way to demonstrate your openness to learning and growing. Silence in these situations can also prevent unnecessary arguments. Often, conversations can become heated when people speak without having all the facts, leading to misunderstandings and conflicts. By remaining silent, you create space for clarity and avoid contributing to potential disputes. You allow the conversation to flow without adding noise or confusion. Silence, in this case, becomes a way to protect harmony in relationships and discussions. Being silent when you don't know the facts reflects your commitment to mindful communication, a core principle in Buddhism. It shows that you prioritize truth and understanding over the need to appear knowledgeable. This type of silence is a strength, not a weakness, and it allows you to grow in wisdom while maintaining respect for yourself and others. It's a reminder that sometimes the wisest words are the ones left unsaid, as they make room for deeper understanding and meaningful dialogue. 5. When it's time to listen to yourself. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the constant noise around us, the opinions of others, the pressures of society, the endless stream of information from social media, and daily responsibilities. All of these external influences can drown out the most important voice of all, your own. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of tuning out the external world from time to time and turning inward. There are moments in life when silence is necessary, not for others, but for yourself. These are the moments when it's time to pause and listen deeply to your inner voice. When we're always surrounded by distractions, we often lose touch with our true feelings, desires, and needs. We might find ourselves making decisions based on what others expect from us, rather than what truly aligns with who we are. That's why it's so important to make space for silence and reflection in our lives. Taking the time to listen to yourself allows you to reconnect with your inner wisdom, your values, and your purpose. In Buddhism, this kind of silence is cultivated through practices like mindfulness and meditation. These practices encourage you to turn your attention inward, observe your thoughts without judgment, and understand the deeper layers of your mind and heart. In the stillness of silence, you gain clarity about what truly matters to you. You begin to recognize the difference between what is influenced by outside noise and what comes from your own truth. This process of self-listening is essential for living an authentic, meaningful life. It's also during moments of silence that you can process your emotions more effectively. When life becomes overwhelming and emotions like stress, anxiety, or sadness build up, we often try to distract ourselves by staying busy or seeking validation from others. But in doing so, we avoid the real issues and never give ourselves the chance to fully understand what we're feeling. Silence provides a safe space to sit with your emotions, to explore them deeply without distractions, and to find healing from within. By listening to yourself, you honor your emotional well-being, which leads to greater self-awareness and personal growth. When you take the time to listen to yourself, you become more intuitive and aligned with your true path. Often we already know what the right decision is or what changes we need to make, but the constant noise of life clouds that knowledge. In the silence, your inner voice can guide you more clearly. You become more attuned to your gut feelings and instincts, which are incredibly valuable in making decisions that are best for you. Instead of constantly seeking advice or approval from others, you learn to trust your own judgment and wisdom. Silence is not just about turning off external distractions. It's also about quieting the mental chatter inside your own mind. We often carry around a stream of worries, doubts, and self-criticism that can be just as noisy as the outside world. Listening to yourself means creating silence within, allowing your mind to rest from overthinking and judgment. This inner quiet helps you become more centered and peaceful, creating a space for insight, creativity, and new perspectives to emerge. Learning to listen to yourself is an act of self-respect and self-love. It's about valuing your own thoughts, emotions, and needs enough to give them the time and attention they deserve. Many of us spend so much time trying to meet the needs of others that we neglect our own inner voice. But when you take the time to be silent and tune into yourself, you are practicing one of the highest forms of self-care. You're acknowledging that your well-being matters and that your inner guidance is worth following. In Buddhism, silence is seen as a way to cultivate wisdom, and that wisdom often comes from within. By creating space for silence in your life, you not only gain clarity and understanding, but also develop a deeper connection to your true self. The practice of listening to yourself isn't something that happens overnight. It's a lifelong journey of mindfulness, reflection, and self-discovery. But the more you embrace silence and turn inward, the more aligned and fulfilled you'll become on your path to inner peace and happiness. 6. When your ego wants to win. One of the greatest challenges we face in life is managing our ego. The ego is that part of us that constantly seeks validation, craves recognition, and wants to be right at all costs. It's the voice inside that tells us we need to win, whether in arguments, competitions, or even social interactions. While the ego can sometimes drive us to succeed, it often leads us down a path of conflict, unnecessary tension, and even suffering. Buddhism teaches that the ego, when left unchecked, is often the root of unhappiness. In moments when your ego pushes you to win, silence becomes a powerful tool for transcending this inner struggle. We've all been in situations where our pride gets the better of us, perhaps during a heated argument where we feel the need to have the last word, or in a discussion where we want to prove our intelligence or superiority. In these moments, the ego pushes us to defend ourselves, make our point, or outshine others. But this need to win often conflicts with our deeper values and doesn't lead to peace. Winning for the sake of the ego often results in damaged relationships, lingering resentment, and emotional exhaustion. The temporary satisfaction of winning an argument pales in comparison to the long-term damage it can do to your peace of mind and connections with others. In Buddhism, the practice of humility and letting go of the ego is essential for inner peace. When you choose silence in moments where your ego is driving you to speak, you are practicing detachment from the need to be right. This doesn't mean you're conceding or losing. It means you're prioritizing harmony and wisdom over the fleeting satisfaction of proving a point. Silence in these moments is an act of strength, not weakness. It shows that you are capable of stepping back, reflecting, and allowing the situation to unfold without feeling the need to control it. By letting go of the desire to dominate, you create space for understanding, compromise, and true connection with others. Moreover, the ego thrives on external validation. It craves approval from others, recognition for accomplishments, and acknowledgement of its superiority. But true self-worth doesn't come from external sources. It comes from within. When you stay silent in situations where your ego wants to win, you remind yourself that your true value isn't decided by others' opinions or the results of arguments. Your worth is rooted in who you are, not in any outside approval. Staying silent helps you step back from the need for validation, building a stronger sense of self-confidence that doesn't depend on praise or recognition from others. Another important idea in Buddhist teachings is the concept of impermanence. Everything in life is always changing, and holding on to the need to win or be right is pointless because today's victory will soon disappear. The happiness of proving someone wrong doesn't last long, but the conflict it causes might stay around. By choosing silence, you accept the changing nature of these moments and see that feeding the ego brings no true benefit. Instead, you shift your focus to something greater: inner peace, balance, and calmness. Silence also has the power to ease tension and lower conflict. When you choose not to engage in an argument driven by ego, you remove the fuel that keeps the disagreement alive. This is especially true in heated moments where emotions are high and both sides feel the urge to assert control. By staying silent, you not only protect your peace, but also give the other person a chance to cool down. This creates space for a more thoughtful and meaningful conversation later, where true understanding can happen without ego-driven emotions getting in the way. Being silent during these times also helps you practice mindfulness and self-awareness. When your ego wants to win, it often reacts from habit or old patterns instead of conscious thinking. Silence gives you a chance to pause and watch your reactions. Why do you feel the need to win? What are you trying to prove, and to whom? These moments of reflection can uncover deeper fears or insecurities that are shaping your behavior. Once you notice these hidden reasons, you can start working on them in a healthier way instead of letting the ego guide your actions. By choosing silence when your ego wants to win, you also become an example for others. In a world where people are quick to argue, defend, and push their opinions, your calm and steady silence stands out. It shows that you don't need to dominate to be strong, and you don't have to win to earn respect. This quiet confidence can inspire others to rethink their own behavior and handle conflicts with more mindfulness and humility. In this way, your silence creates a ripple effect, spreading peace not just within you, but also in your relationships with others. By staying silent when your ego feels most active, you build a deeper sense of inner stability and maturity. It helps you rise above small conflicts and focus on the values that truly matter: kindness, compassion, and understanding. The more you practice this, the more you grow emotional resilience, where outside situations no longer shake your self-worth. This kind of inner strength not only helps you, but also spreads to those around you, encouraging more peaceful and respectful interactions. Practicing silence in these moments can lead to long-term personal growth. Every time you choose silence over an ego-driven reaction, you train your mind to become more patient and thoughtful. With time, you'll notice that handling these situations becomes easier, and your ego's hold on you begins to loosen. This ongoing growth of self-control lies at the heart of Buddhist teachings and can lead to a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Staying silent when your ego wants to win is a powerful act of self-mastery. It helps you break free from the endless cycles of conflict, competition, and insecurity. It gives you the space to build deeper connections with others based on respect and understanding, instead of a need to dominate. Through silence, you move closer to the wisdom that Buddhism shares. That true victory is not about winning arguments, but about mastering yourself. This wisdom leads you toward a more peaceful, balanced, and meaningful life, free from the constant struggles of the ego. To be valued, you don't always have to speak. In these 6 situations, silence speaks louder than words. By choosing to stay silent, you show wisdom, strength, and respect for both yourself and others. Thank you for watching, and if you found this message valuable, please like, subscribe, and share this video.